AITA for telling my brother, if his kids go hungry that's his problem not mine. Throw away my English is a work in progress, so just a warning, I'll call my brother Mike and my ex Tammy. 10 years ago my then fiancé left me at the altar. Most humiliating thing I've ever been through. And went on our honeymoon with Mike. In her note she told me she loved him since high school but he was never interested, so she used me to get to him. She claimed to have loved me at some point, but after a drunken one-night stand her and Mike knew they were soulmates. I'm not gonna lie, I was a wreck for about a year. Every time I tried to move forward, that day her mother tearfully handing me the note and everyone's faces would set me back. But time's a healer, I've moved on. I disowned Mike and haven't spoken to both of them in 10 years. For the first 2 years my family hid they had any contact with him, but then just basically sat me down one day, told me Tammy was pregnant and Mike was planning to marry her soon, so I needed to get over because they were going to the wedding, baby shower, etc. To honest, I was hurt at the why they went about it, but they're adults. I can't control what they do with their lives. I simply asked they not invite me to anything they would be at or expect me to forgive him, which they tired multiple times to make us talk, but after a year of no contact they got the picture. Fast forward to last week, I heard Mike and Tammy are expecting their 5th child and Mike's business went bankrupt last September. Then the chain Tammy works at closed down and they have zero savings apparently. My family have hinted that my wife and I should help them because we are the most financially successful for the kids' sake. My wife told them straight up no and said tell Mike to look for a job, and we left. A while later I got a call from an unknown number. I had a feeling who it was, but I just had to answer. From the moment I said hello, both Mike and Tammy started ranting about me needing to get over Tammy. I'm my wife's a queen. Saying I'm a piece of shit for punishing kids for something that happened years ago. Finally my brother asked me how does it feel to be the reason his kids go hungry, so I told him that's his problem not mine. They started yelling, crying, so I just hung up. Since then my whole family is calling names for taking my anger out on Mike's innocent children. My wife said I should tell them all go fuck themselves and ask them to put their hands in their own pockets. Agree. Your wife's right, op. Did Mike or Tammy reimburse you for your share of the wedding and honeymoon expenses? Did Tammy give back the ring? They made bad choices. Them having 5 kids is not a choice you made, it was theirs. It is their responsibility to provide for their kids, not yours. I say this even if you had a good relationship. Even if all this didn't happen, you would and should have a choice on whether or not you help a family member. This isn't just your garden variety brother steals fiancé post. There's like 4 levels of bonus asshole in here, and some extra cruelty for funsies. You make a great point about the honeymoon. I hadn't noticed that. What with all the other horrible components of this? It seems like it'd take effort to manage to be this awful. It's impressive, in a horrifying way. I feel bad for their children, and op. But at least he has a great partner now. I vote we clone the wife, and place clones in retail manager positions. That lady has a spine, TM. NTA, and it really is not your problem. Tammy is somebody that you used to know, but is not a total stranger, and Mike is the same, for all intents and purposes. Their choices are just that, their choices. If your family says you *re and AH, which you are not, then they should be the ones supporting you. Amazing how generous people can be when they promise other people's money. Seriously, consider cutting out all of them. It may hurt a bit now, but the peace and quiet, and your amazing wife, are worth it. Also, even aside from history, using children as the reason you have a right to handouts is ridiculous. If you aren't earning enough money to build up savings for situations like this, don't have 5 kids. Kids are expensive. Have 2 or 3, build up savings and be responsible. If your strategy to keep children fed is, ask my estranged brother for a handout, you have royally fucked up as a parent. NTA, they are complete idiots. If you are asking for someone to help you, you grovel at their feet, not tell them how shitty of a person they are. Secondly, how irresponsible of them to have a 5th child that they cannot support. Sorry about your family mess. I'd say just continue not having them in your life like you have been. If your parents want to help, then that's their choice. You owe your brother nothing. You're the reason their kids go hungry, LMFAO. Do not get me wrong. I don't like seeing anyone go hungry, and trust I had to have help once or 100 times when my kids were little. And no, there wasn't a pandemic. But they seem to be sitting back waiting for you and your wife to save the day and not making any advances to change their circumstances. I had other avenues, I just needed more help. She humiliated you and he let her, and now they need you. Please. But let's say you help them just this once. Then they'll think they're in good with you and try to keep using you. I would not. Nope. No way. However, although I think you're NTA, I couldn't sit back and let the kids suffer just because their parents are Oz. Maybe buy them kid-friendly meals to last a week and let them fend for themselves. Because any other avenue and they will benefit too. So after 10 years the very first thing he says to you instead of, "I'm sorry dude," is, "You need to get over it." I'm assuming they know you're married, and saying you're punishing the kids they chose to have? Absolutely NTA. Just because you're blood related to someone does not mean they're worthy of being called family. If they realized they were soulmates, there are literally a million other ways to have told you other than just leaving you at the altar to embarrass you in front of everyone. They sound extremely narcissistic and selfish. NTA like it all. Some people earn cruelty, they deserve it on a bone-deep level. Your brother and Tammy are those people. And yet despite that you haven't actually gone out of your way to inflict suffering on them. You've just refused to take responsibility for their poor choices. NTA and a much better person than I am. Treasure your wife by the way, she's exactly what a partner should be. Donate some money to someone else's kids. If you are going to support the children of strangers, why not some deserving ones? Funny thing is me and Maura want to adopt their many kids without a home here. We have a lot of money we have both saved. We want to upgrade our home so we can adopt siblings because it's harder for them to get homes. Weary AITA for not giving money to people I haven't spoken to face with mask in a decade? Thinking face fearful face I don't owe it to them confused face and they destroyed me emotionally heartbreak skull and crossbones coffin. Am I a meanie? Pouting they're broke and unsuccessful, unlike me with big flying money sexy money mouth face cash bucks. Money bag my family hates me. Loudly crying am I bad confounded face pensive face NTA. I don't know how some people do the things they do. If I made a fool of myself, left someone at the altar for their brother, I wouldn't be begging the person who I mistreated for money, no matter how dire it is, let alone berate them over the phone for it. Wow. Yeah, no doubt, you're NTA here. Ha 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 ha. Man, that is some shit to go through. Glad you made it out the other side. A lot of people aren't so lucky. As for the kids, yeah it sucks. But it's literally not your problem. Had the split been amicable, yeah, maybe help for these kids sake. But those are the spawn of two triflin' ass hoes. Not your fucking problem, hard NTA, case closed. Next. See you on the front page. NTA. Your family have got some nerve. They chose Mike over you when they decided to welcome him and Tammy's relationship and they want you to give Mike money because family? Ah, hell no. True family has your back and sacrifices for you. Your family made no sacrifices for you and definitely didn't have your back. Go NC with them all. Also, this gaslighting nonsense that you are the reason his kids will go hungry is insane. They are the reason their kids will go hungry and your wife is right that any flying monkey who doesn't like your decision should put their hands in their own pockets to feed the kids. NTA you don't owe them anything besides going no contact if they continue with their harassment. Your brother and Devil X need to go elsewhere for help. Perhaps help from the rest of your family that decided your feelings do not matter and took the side of the people who betrayed you about as bad as anyone could be betrayed. You moved on and are doing well. Your success has nothing to do with them and they don't deserve anything from your success. I do feel bad for the kids and may think about offering to give them gift cards specific to a grocery store or ordering items specific to the kids' needs. Sounds like they said no to that though, so again, screw them. NTA. If they had respectfully and humbly reached out to you, begged forgiveness and asked if you could help, then maybe, just maybe, you could throw a few bucks their way. But to get in your face and demand that you help them, that's crazy. To blame you for their kids going hungry is ludicrous. You need to go no contact with your whole family for a while. NTA. I mean, it would be great if you could help the children directly so they don't go hungry, but I suspect that they'll be taken care of, and Mike, Tammy are just back to get what they can out of you. Fuck 'em, you were a mature adult about the whole thing. They never apologized to you, they never tried to make peace. They didn't even have humility in calling to ask you for money. They launched straight into trying to make you the problem for not getting over her. Even though you removed yourself from any drama and let them live their lives. Picture any objective situation where you ask someone for not only a favor but a large sum of money. It's to save your children's lives. And you have to ask the person you wronged. And the first thing out of your mouth is not utter humility and contrition but to criticize that person? They're the assholes. But if you're worried that the children might really go hungry, show up at their door with 50 pounds of rice. That will feed kids for a year. Watch them get outraged that you brought food instead of money. And then pick up your bag of rice and walk away for good.